hosts. For those that I haven't met, my name's Eric Nordberg. I'm the Executive Director for the Michigan Humanities Council. We're your hosts for this two-day event, the Poetry Out Loud Michigan State Championship. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce probably the most important person to all of this endeavor. I tell you, we couldn't do this project without Judith, so I want to introduce Judith Borkin.
Thank you, Eric, for that nice introduction. I'm Judith Borkin. I'm a program officer at the Michigan Humanities Council and also the Poetry Out Loud coordinator. Poetry Out Loud is one of the programs that I coordinate during the year. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going to happen tonight. At 7 o'clock, we are going to have a student writing workshop with poetry duo Kinetic Effect. They are at the back, and Kinetic Effect is out of Kalamazoo. They are a special treat for us. So tonight you'll have a chance to talk one-on-one with them. They'll be sharing with you their poetry background, their poetry experience, and how they came to be Kinetic Effect.
My name is Gabriel.
And my name is Kirk. It's kind of creepy that you already know my name. You must be on my Facebook, okay? So you're gonna write Kirk in the upper right-hand corner?
Oh, it's on the board. Okay. Oh, you're so smart. All right, now we need you to
Do something that you probably don't typically do. A lot of you seem very polite, and we appreciate that. That's great. But what we're really looking for is honest, raw, true, unfiltered honesty. And some people in the back are like, I'm already doing it right now.
The kids just totally blew us away. I mean, their ability to take in, understand what we were trying to communicate with them, and then completely just open up and give back to us. I mean, that's one of the things I love about my job more than anything, and they were awesome.
They have deep hearts and deep wells, and it was very evident in the time that we spent with them. That was great because those are the wells we want to tap into.
Really what this is this just a practice in the powers of observation. I want you to pretend as if you saw me wherever you might hang out, at a mall, at your favorite park, wherever it may be, and I want you to just write down what your honest first assumptions would be of me based solely on physical appearance alone.
I'll start. Gabriel. He looks slightly intimidating. He's trying too hard. I like how some of you want to laugh at that, but you're like, that's mean. That's all right, you can laugh. We're doing this on purpose, right? We're putting ourselves out there.
Kirk, intense, teacher, businessman, uppity, high class, jokester, suburbs, open, uptight.
Gabriel, hipster, probably into good music. Kirk, seems like he would be a great salesman. Loves himself. I love writing poetry, I love sharing poetry, and coming to Poetry Out Loud is just another venue where I get to do what I love to do. Poetry Out Loud also brings together a variety of different types of poetry, so I think this is also beneficial because you get exposed to more formal styles, looser styles, different writers, more contemporary, and that's also really wonderful to have these students who might not otherwise ever utter these words or say these types of sentences get a chance to stand up and say some really powerful things in a very powerful way.
I'm most excited to see the kids perform. I mean, just in the hour and a half that we got to sit down with them and talk with them, I mean, they just seem like an amazing group of young adults who are, kind of hopefully finding their own voice, and I'm looking forward to seeing them on stage.
What we were able to reveal today is that all of them have just such amazing hearts, amazing stories, that it would be wonderful to be able to come back tomorrow and see that they've stepped up their relationships with one another just a little bit, just enough to show that they're here to support one another. So again, I told him no. I don't want you to help me find my mind, but perhaps, and if you want me to, I can help you to lose yours.
We're going to start right off with competitor number one. Competitor number one is Daniel Wu.
In Love, His Grammar Grew by Stephen Dunn. In love, his grammar grew rich with adverbs and rich with intensifiers.
If we have honored him, We have honored one who unequivocally honors himself by overlooking us.
The power of beauty to right all wrongs is hard for me to settle.
Today, we woke up to a revolution.
A child places her hand on the roof of a school bus and drives across the city again.
Does this create a heart that whispers, how you know?
A practical and personal application of inertia can be found in the question, whose turn is it to take out the garbage? An empty pair of dancing shoes is a lot like the answer to that question. He is about to act on a different set of scientific principles. He is ready to dance.
I love poetry. I grew up with poetry. I actually write poetry myself. Poetry Out Loud is actually a contest that we've done at our school, Cass Tech in Detroit, for the past 5 years now. And so when I joined Cass Tech's program, that's how I learned about it, through my teacher, Ms. McCormick. I think that the most significant part of my experience was learning my pieces, because not only did I have to learn them to memorize them, but I had to learn them and break them down and analyze them and really, figure out what's going on inside of the words, and just in between the lines, because it makes all of the difference when you're reciting them.
Poetry is essential for our society. Maybe not in the sense that people like to think of poetry. People think of poetry in a very particular, very small-minded way. What they forget is that poetry, the poets of the past, were the history makers, the ones who sang of victories, who told of cultural mores and the ways that we function and live as a society. And we have lost something in a society nowadays that is more likely to communicate in LOLs, text messages, and selfies, but you're really missing out. And the poets, what they bring back is a sense of real true communication, and not just that, but communicating to the greater public in a way that we don't often see anymore.
Poetry is essential for a successful, progressive society to grow and learn how to really communicate with each other. We think about it in these very small terms, but singer-songwriters, they're poets with music. And so it's not just the tradition of getting up on stage or writing something down. People use music and lyrics to escape, so they help us cope. Poets, writers are often the ones who can put words to the feelings that we have difficulty saying ourselves.
It's too bad that Poetry Out Loud isn't a week-long event. I think it'd be a really cool future perspective thing for them to think about.